I always believe that your weakness can be your strength, because in my childhood and until I was like 30 years old, all I have is weakness, no strength. So I say that if that is the case, how can I survive? How can I go on? And on LinkedIn, 2015, I tried to write on LinkedIn, but I failed my English when I was in school. I said, I'm already MD at UBS, but my English wasn't that great. So I decided to write in short sentences using simple words. And I use photos so that I can write less to tell the stories. And that worked because nobody has time. The attention span of social media user is now shorter than a goldfish. So they love it. Short sentences, simple words. I also attracted people whose native language is not English. So my weakness in English became an advantage. And I believe using that throughout my life. So I realized this only in the last 10 years. Before that, I suffered from inferiority complex because I was skinny, I was underweight, I was not good in sports, and I failed so many subjects in my school.
Yeah, and I think everybody can kind of relate with that, because there are many things that we're not good at, but the key thing is there are some things that we're exceptional at. And if we work at it, we'll basically get to the peak. So for you, why career advancements? What took you to where you are today? Because I can see that, yes, you're investment banking, and then at the time you pivoted to academia. And then that's like a big pivot to academia. And then now what you're doing now, and you're changing so many lives and helping people brand themselves. What was that shift? How did that happen?
Yeah, so the way I kind of manage my life is I try to learn all the things that I'm interested in, then try to connect the dots later. So I like teaching. So internally, when I was with banks, whether it's Standard Chartered Bank or Citi, I try to give internal training, and that prepares me to be a university lecturer. I also like photography. So now, I can use a proper camera. I like design. I like videography. I can set up the different lights for this Zoom setup. It is difficult to know what you want to do and how to connect the dots in advance. So what I do is I just go and learn anything that interests me. I learn, and I try to put them together. So now with social media, I put my investment banking knowledge, because sometimes I share how to get into investment banking, how to do well in banking and finance. I teach, so I train my public speaking skills. I do social media, so I can broadcast my live shows. For example, if I have good public speaking skills, but if I don't have a distribution network, nobody will come. So that is what I like to do. Learn small things and try to put them together.
Excellent. Learn small things and try to put them together. We're here for a treat, everybody. Eric is going to start his presentation shortly. I just want to remind you just a little bit about he's very humble. Eric was the managing director of a top investment bank. I mean, you are the managing director of UBS Investment Bank, right? In Hong Kong, and adjunct associate professor at Hong Kong University. That was your MD of an investment bank and then a professor. So it's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to be given a chance to do all this. So many people trust me and allow me to try all different things.
Great. Great. So you're going to talk to us about building your online presence to achieve career success. We can't wait to hear from you, and we're going to go into the presentation phase now. Everyone, if you have questions, keep them well. So at the end of the presentation, you now ask them, and we'll go into like a fireside chat after, and then we'll see if we can get some of your questions in. So let's listen attentively to Eric, and let's soak from this wealth of knowledge. Over to you, Eric.
Thank you, David, for moderating, and welcome everyone. This is the first time I'm speaking to Nigerian audience, so I'm very excited because I want to take this chance to learn. I'm here not just to share, I'm here to learn, and I see a few people that I'm familiar with, like Jean Patrick, JP, and a few others. So thank you for turning on your video. I also like to thank Gloria for organizing, Odiri for inviting me. And let me just do this. So this is what we're going to talk about. Build your online presence to achieve career success. Before that, I want to share with you, in 2015, I wrote my first LinkedIn article, and Shakiru is my first follower outside of my friends and colleague circle. And he used to live in Nigeria. So today is like a big circle. My first follower is from Nigeria, and today I'm presenting to Nigerian audience after 7 years. So this is very exciting for me. I want to just go through my career path so you know where I come from. So I started with DBS Bank as a FX sales. I didn't do well because I lacked the social skills. So I say, why don't I start from scratch and go and do a Master's of Science in Finance in Lancaster University in the UK. But after graduating, there's no job in London. I couldn't find any job because I didn't dress well. I didn't own a suit. I bought a second-hand suit and it was very ill-fitted. And of course, you go to London with a ill-fitted suit, nobody's going to give you a second chance. Then I came back to Singapore, and that was in 1997. In Asia, it was the Asian financial crisis. Currency weakened by 20 to 50%. And I couldn't find a front office job. So I decided to go for a risk management job. The moment I changed to risk management, I got a job from Standard Chartered Bank. Met a good boss. His name is Prasanna Thombre. And he grew me, and I built some confidence after that. Then I took my CFA while I was still with Standard Chartered Bank. And that CFA qualification really helped me. It helped me know more of my finance, because my first degree is in engineering, mechanical engineering. And now with the CFA, I then go on to Citibank and then UBS. In Citi, I did 8 years of derivative structuring, plus I did some work together with the investment bank. And then that gave me a very good foundation to move to UBS as MD, and of course doing investment banking type of services and products. But I'm a greedy person. So what I did was I went to teach. So I went to teach with various universities in Asia. Let me move myself a little bit down here. And from there, right, I also developed my own business, Institute of Life, down here. And I work with CFA a lot. I go to different countries to give speeches. So CFA helped me to become a public speaker, and I get paid as well. So I was very grateful to CFA. I write on LinkedIn, and I also write a book. It's called Small Action, which I'll talk about shortly. Today, we're going to talk about building our online presence. The first thing that when we think about how to build our online presence is to... Okay, I think somebody is not on mute. Yeah, whoever is not on mute, can you just mute yourself so everyone can have a clearer audio? Now, to build an online presence, the first thing is to be different from other people. A lot of time we think, okay, how can I be different? I'm a banker, I'm an asset manager. So there is only one role that we have. Many of us have multiple skills, so we can have a combo skill set. And I would say that to differentiate ourselves, one of the best way is to be a combo specialist. What do I mean by a combo specialist? Let me move away from here. Sorry to make you a bit hungry before your lunch. This is the value meal from McDonald's. The burger is your specialization, is your core specialization. Your fries is your secondary specialization, and Coke is your interest. So combine all three, then you become a combo specialist. I like to share my screen. Now I'm not sharing my screen. You can see that I'm just talking and then pulling images here and there. Let me share my screen using this share screen. Yeah, you'll be able to see it clearly now. So the first thing is to be different from others, be a combo specialist. I'll use myself as an example. So my core specialization when I first started out in banking is engineering, because I got an engineering degree, mechanical engineering degree. I went to DBS Bank, a Singapore bank, and that is my fries. That's finance my fries. I was also interested in computer programming, and that became my interest. I combined finance and engineering to do financial engineering in Citi. I also pick up sales because I know that sales is really important if you want to do well in banking. I was also interested in photography. Then I combined financial engineering sales to do investment banking. I developed an interest in teaching, so I teach internally. My interest was in social media, and I combined all of that to become a lecturer. So I pivoted from banking career to teaching career. Initially, I was teaching banking finance. Now I'm teaching career and life skills because this is what I feel is most important and the most lacking among the school curriculum. You know, in the school curriculum, life skills and career skills are not taught so much. And of course, you know, video is my interest now. And now today I'm an author. I'm also a speaker, and my interest is in visual call. So this is the way I think about combo. I can see somebody already typing in the chat. Olusegun said that I love the financial engineering. Let me read out his comment. He said that I love combo financial engineering. My core specialization is also mechanical engineering, and secondary specialization is banking finance. That's brilliant. And then you can swap it around, right? Make your banking finance to become core and mechanical engineering to become your French fries. So think of your burger, fries, and your Coke. Yeah. So Olusegun, just think of one interest that you may have. It could be a sports, it could be social media, it could be design, and then combine it, it becomes somebody unique. And that is when you can build your social online presence, because that's when people see you differently. You're not just a banking finance professional. You are much more than that. Cybersecurity database admin, that's brilliant, because these days cybersecurity is so important. And the key is, how do you combine the three to make yourself valuable and useful? So that is point number one. Point number two is be the same. So just now I asked you to be different. Now I ask you to be the same. What do I mean? Isn't it very contradicting to be the same? Okay. So be different from other people, but be the same on all social media. All right. So for us, as a banker or finance professional, LinkedIn can be our core. You could have Facebook, Twitter, or you could have Instagram. But we don't have time to do all of them. So what we can do is to write on LinkedIn. Maybe you can write some content once a week or once a month and share that content onto other social media. But of course, you must tweak. You must tweak your content to suit the platform. You can do YouTube if you like. And we use WhatsApp a lot. In Singapore, we use WhatsApp. In China, they use WeChat. In other countries like Taiwan, Russia, they use Line. I understand for Nigeria, you use WhatsApp as well, just like in Singapore. So what I do is after I write my content on LinkedIn, I'll share the link. Maybe I'll share it, say, with David, right? Maybe David isn't maybe he's not so active on LinkedIn, but I can send him a link. I say, hey, David, I wrote this article about online presence. Can you give me some feedback? So this is the way we build our online presence by sharing content on multiple platforms. So it's not going to be a LinkedIn strategy, but a social media strategy. But to do that well, we need to be consistent in terms of your profile. So what I do is I have the same picture. So you can see I have the same picture on my Facebook, on my Twitter, and my Instagram. Same title, banker, lecturer, speaker, writer, banker, lecturer, speaker, writer, banker, lecturer, speaker, and writer. Not only that, on my WeChat, because I also do a lot of business with China, I have my same photo. Then on my WhatsApp is banker, lecturer, speaker, writer. And my friends say, hey, we are friends, we are childhood friends. You are also banker, lecturer, speaker, writer. When somebody say that to you, it works because people remember. And also our jobs, our business opportunity don't just come from LinkedIn. It can come from all channels because it could be your friends, your colleagues, classmates may introduce you another person. And no matter which platform they come through, they will see the same Eric Sim, same photo, same title. It could be my student who is active on Instagram, introducing his or her professor, and I move the professor chat to LinkedIn and then later on to WhatsApp. Same photo and also the same title. The communication become seamless. And that's how you build your online presence. So it's become one social media strategy. Number 3 is to use your external brand to enhance your internal reputation. A lot of time, right, after we join a company for about 6 months, your internal branding is fixed. Whether your boss think that you are, whether your boss think that you are hardworking, or whether your boss think that you are creative or lazy, is fixed in the first 6 months. So how can we change that? It's very difficult to change from internal. The impression of you after 6 months cannot be changed so easily, but we can change from external. So there is this, one of my followers, her name is Anna. So she was with EY and she wanted to move out of EY to do something else. So it was very difficult for her because internally and externally, people see her as an EY consultant. And after about 6 to 12 months, nothing has happened. No matter how many emails she sent, she just couldn't find a breakthrough. Then she read my book and she realized that she needed to build her external brand. And how did she build her external brand? She did a podcast. So she did a series of podcasts And she invited senior bankers like Annie. Annie was 20 years with Citibank in Asia and also in Europe, was the COO for the transaction banking. So with that and other senior people, the external people start finding her very interesting and then start having coffee with her. Then she got more ideas and got more opportunity. Internally, people also see her in a different light. So this is what she wrote. She said that chasing opportunities and sending countless follow-up emails didn't help me closer, didn't get me closer to my dream role. So I followed the advice in small actions. New opportunities started presenting themselves. I was also offered a promotion as my team looked at me in a different light. It's magical how the practical tips in this book helped me pivot my career within such a short time. So this is what we can do. That's the online presence. That's the beauty. You not necessarily must do something that is related to your work. You can do something, for example, for her, podcast is not related to her work, but what makes it relevant is she interviewed senior people. She interviewed people from banking finance and also interview people in the industry that she wants to move into. So you can do the same. For your online presence, you can also interview people. It can be in a podcast format. It can also be an interview format, then you can publish on your LinkedIn. You may not have many LinkedIn followers, but it's going to be a start. And if you interview many people enough, then you have a brand. And I can see Yami has a welcome Emma on board from Ghana, Accra. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, and welcome to the show. Let me continue. Number 4 is to share your knowledge. How do you share your knowledge? So I share my knowledge by posting about Twitter. So recently we know that Elon Musk bought Twitter. So back in April, when Elon Musk indicated that he wanted to buy, I talk about the risk. If you are investor at that time it was at $49. So I asked my student who took my class in banking finance, I said that, would you buy Twitter share at $49? Knowing that Elon Musk is going to buy from you at $54. So at that time, some students say they will buy, some students say, no, it's too risky. And what are the risks? I talk about the risk in my LinkedIn post. The risk could be Twitter shareholders vote, regulatory risk, could be interloper risk. Interloper risk means there's somebody who bid higher than Elon Musk. And funding risk, Elon Musk couldn't get the funding. But I say that these are all very small risks. So that's how I explain. And then it showcased my knowledge of a current transaction. It showcased my knowledge of the risk involved in an M&A. So you can do the same. In the area that you want to be known, take a public deal and comment on that. And then you can post. You don't need to have many people looking. What you need to do is to post this and feature it on your LinkedIn. Share it with people on the other social media. And when you feature on your LinkedIn, it forms part of your profile, part of your online presence. When somebody visits your profile, they see where you work and your education. On top of that, they will see your featured page. And your featured page tells people about your knowledge, about your interests. And that will help you build a reputation in the area that you want to be known as. Number 5, to build online presence is you need to tell a story. A lot of us, right? When we describe ourselves, like, who are you? I'm a banker with an engineering degree. I work for Standard Chartered Bank. I work for Citibank. I have 10 years experience. These are just facts. Facts tell, story sell. That's why we need to have story. Let me just share one story with you just now. When David was asking me my story, this is my father. I mean, he already passed away 5 years ago. He was selling noodle on the street. Because in Singapore, we have a lot of street food for 30 years. And I was helping him from elementary school at the age of 12 to 22 years old when I was in the university. So I keep helping him, chopping away, cooking. And it is difficult for me to develop the skills and the network that bankers require. Normally in banking, you need to come from a good school. You need to have a good network. But my family doesn't have a network, of professional people. Their network are all fellow hawkers, street food vendors. So that's why my first job, I went to a local bank, and also I didn't do well because I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to talk to people. And I'm much more comfortable with numbers because I'm an engineering. Thanks, Eva, who said that you're a good cook. I like to believe so. Yes. And when let me just stop sharing so you can see me better, so I can join you in the big room. So for me, life is pretty difficult because without knowing what is required in banking, there's not my family, nobody gone to college. I'm the first one. And I had a hard time at the beginning. So what I did was I worked harder than other people. I tried to learn more. So beside banking finance skills, I will learn C++ programming. I'll learn Japanese language. I will learn Chinese language. And I try to build relationship with people. So my success didn't come until I was very, very late, maybe only in my 40s, then I was able to achieve some success. Before that, either I was a nobody or I was just very average. As you can see, the progress of my career, first job is a local bank, DBS Bank. Second job is a risk management in Standard Chartered Bank, a regional bank. Third job, then international bank in Citi. Then finally reached investment banking. So it was quite a journey. And somebody then said this to me. He said that, Eric, you became MD of UBS despite you being a street food vendor's son. I said, you're wrong. It's not despite. Is because I became MD at UBS because I was the son of a street food vendor. Because at the street food vendor store, I was helping my father for 10 years. I learned different local languages. I learned to be observant. I learned to study body language. I learned to multitask. Because at that time, people will then eat and pay later. So I need to watch out for people who eat and never pay and run away. I need to cut the chili, and sometimes without knowing, chili getting into my eyes. And because when I rub my hands, I need to listen to people calling to order. I need to observe who come in first. So because it's first in, first serve, right? So all of that didn't help me at the beginning, but helped me towards the end of my, on the second half of my banking career. Because as a banker, you need to listen when you have a meeting with your clients. Could be the CEO, you're having the meeting, CFO on the side, assistant on another side, and maybe some other people. So I need to look at the CEO using one eye and observe the body language of the CFO using the other eye. And I need to listen if my colleague is calling me. Maybe I say something wrong. They want to stop me. So all of that comes in and make me who I am. So this is my story. And all of us have such a story, right? And I hope you can think back about your own life. And normally when you have a transition, maybe you change school, maybe you change job and there was some difficulty. How do you deal with that difficulty? How do you overcome it? And what's your success? It doesn't need to be a life success. It could be a small success, but that's your story. And then when you have this story, number one, people remember you better because of your story. Number two, people can connect with you and they remember you better rather than me. If today I just telling you for this presentation, I say, okay, thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Audrey. I'm Eric Sim, I'm MD UBS. I'm an associate professor, Hong Kong UST. I just give you the facts. You won't remember, you won't find this presentation engaging, right? So, and my story is a personal story with a universal application. So I hope with the story, I can tell people, even if you don't have a pedigree background, you can still reach certain stage, It's just going to take a bit longer, but it's still very hopeful. Investment banking, usually they hire people with network and coming from Ivy League. But UBS give me a chance, Citi give me a chance. So there is still a lot of hope and opportunity out there. Let me continue with the slide. Let me continue to share my screen. Now I can join you in. Okay. Yeah. So the structure of a story is you must have setting, conflict, and resolution. So setting is the background. For me, my setting is my banking career, right? Conflict is when I was young, instead of going to school and study hard, I helped my father. And what's the happy ending? The resolution is a happy ending. Although it's very late for me in my career, but eventually I still make MD at UBS. So these three things. So if you think of a story, you must have these three elements. And you can put this on your LinkedIn. So you can write your story on your LinkedIn to tell people why you are doing what you are doing. It is because for me, I realized that I lacked social skills at the beginning. I didn't have the network. And now I hope I can help the 22-year-old Eric Sim and the 22-year-old Erica out there. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So yeah, feel free to write this on LinkedIn. Number six is the strength of weak ties. When we build our online presence, the most useful thing is to use it to build relationship. And this relationship where you build, we're not talking about building friends or, like close friend, like classmate. No. Weak ties can help you. I'll show you one example. All right, this Audrey, she invited me. She and me, we come from different background, right? She's based in Nigeria. I'm based in Singapore, Hong Kong. I've never been to Nigeria. I think Audrey, am I right to say that you have never been to Singapore? Yeah. So you see, we are different. And we are not close friends. What we call this relationship is a weak tie. I don't know her birthday. She doesn't know my birthday, but it doesn't matter. We don't mind, right? Yeah, Audrey said that she's never been to Singapore. Yet, this webinar is made possible because of her. She invited me all through my online presence. And because of her online presence, I accepted it. I don't accept invitation from just anybody. Otherwise, I'll be too busy. So you can see how this online presence can help us and how weak ties is so useful, especially in our career. If you realize, right, your friends and family usually cannot help you with your career so much. If you are a student, your classmates are all looking for jobs. You know, if you have 2-3 years experience, you are looking for the same job. So your best friend couldn't help you. Your family may not be in the same industry as you, but weak ties like Audrey, now we make this connection. It makes me want to go to Nigeria, and I hope I can meet her. And this online presence can develop into an offline relationship. So that is the beauty. And you want to, so our common connection is CFA Institute. So CFA Institute is really powerful. You can use CFA, I mean, whether you are a level 1 candidate or you already got your charter, you can reach out to anybody in the world. You can attend a webinar. I'm sure there are some people who are not from Nigeria attending this, like JP. Anybody who is not from Nigeria and you are present here, can you just type in the chat like the country you are from? I just want to get a sense who's down here, and maybe we can do a bit of networking. Jun Kim from Malaysia, from Ghana, Eva from UK, Uganda. So you can see Cameron. So you can see it's so nice because of CFA. You don't even need to be a CFA a member. And here we go. And later on, I hope we all can come in, turn on our video, and maybe just have a mini networking event. And a lot of jobs, what we see is only 20%. The jobs that are not seen, the good jobs, are 80%. My UBS MD job, how did I get it? Was it advertised? No. It was because somebody, my colleague from Citi, went to UBS. His name is Paul Au. He introduced me this job. He said that his boss is hiring. So I went. So again, our relationship is kind of a weak tie, not the friends that you see every day. And how did I get the Citibank job? From another colleague, Terence. We used to work in DBS. When he moved to Citi, he called me to say, hey, my boss is looking for somebody with your skill set. Would you like to come and try? I went for 3 rounds of interview and I got the job. Again, not advertised. So this online presence help you make weak ties relationship. And these weak ties can develop because you can learn from your weak ties. Today, I'm learning about Nigeria. And after learning about Nigeria, I hope I can learn more about the culture, about the food. And I want to come here and meet some of you. And how do you reach out? I want to show you an example of how to reach out using social media. So LinkedIn is fantastic because you know where the person is working, the target. So this is John Patrick, based in Hong Kong now. He used to be based in Shanghai. So he sent me, in 2016, he sent me an LinkedIn email, and he said this: Dear Eric, hope all is well. I've been following your page for a while now, and you really put out some interesting and informative content. I can really see you are passionate about helping and teaching the younger generation. And as part of that generation, I appreciate it. So what did I do? Such a sincere message from a young person. So he's American, based in Shanghai. And I received many of such requests, right? To say that, hey, I'm doing good work. What he wanted was a coffee because he knew that I was going from Hong Kong to Shanghai to give a talk. He wanted to have a coffee, and I said no, but in a nice way. So this is what I wrote to him. I say, John, thank you for following me on LinkedIn. This Shanghai trip is a little bit tight for me. I may give a talk at NYU in Shanghai in November. So what would he do? Because, I rejected him. He didn't give up. He didn't think, oh, this Eric Sim, such an arrogant person. No, he didn't say that. In fact, he said, my pleasure, not a problem. Figure out it would be. Thought I reach out regardless. I'll continue following your updates. And the next time I'm in Hong Kong, I may reach out to see if you're available. I was based in Hong Kong then. He was based in Shanghai. So seeing him so sincere, I say, come for my talk. I got no time to have coffee with you, but you can attend my talk. And I gave a talk on digital marketing. He came, attend, and after that, I made him my teaching assistant whenever I teach in the university. So number one, reaching out, be sincere, write a personalized message. Number two, be prepared to be rejected the first time. Because the person is not rejecting you, it could be the person is busy. The person received many of such requests. So don't take it personally if you get rejected. Chances are, if you send out 10 invitations, 3 will accept, 7 will reject. So this is part of our online presence. Our online presence is not doing up a nice LinkedIn profile and hope people come. I can tell you, almost guarantee, nobody will come. After we build our online presence, tell our story, complete our profile, we need to reach out to people. Then you start building your online presence one at a time. And then he wrote this in 2019, 3 years later. It is not too often that you meet somebody who truly changes your life. But on this very day, 3 years ago, I can say I met somebody who did that to me. I just wanted to share a small note of appreciation to Eric Sim for all that he's done for me over the years and for changing my life for the better. So feel free to connect with John. He is now doing fintech, cryptocurrency in Hong Kong. So today, right, beside giving the presentation, I want to bring some of my network to you for you to have finance professionals outside of Nigeria. You never know. So feel free to connect with him. His name is John Patrick Mullen. And you can tell him that you have listened to my talk, so he will accept your invitation to connect easily. So how can we connect? So look out for high quality connection that you can bring value to, not just they bring value to you. What value can you bring to them? Are you unique in his circles of network? For example, if you reach out to somebody in Asia, you are unique, right? If you reach out to somebody who's in Nigeria, then you are one of the many people. So unless you got something to offer, maybe they will find that not as interesting. So you can say, for example, you want to work for Citi. You can reach out to somebody who's working for Citi in London or in Asia. Then come back to Nigeria. And also do a bit of homework, read up their articles, read their LinkedIn updates. So one little exercise, if you can do today, just take some time, try to practice, send out just one invitation with a personalized message and see how you respond. Don't be despair if you are rejected. If you do a few of this, eventually you're going to build your connection, and that is part of online presence. Number 7 is ESP. What is ESP? The ESP that I'm referring here is not extrasensory perception. Sorry, there's an aircraft. I live near the airport, so I have an airplane coming in my head. Hear the aircraft. Yeah. I'll continue. I'll push through. So ESP is expertise, showmanship, and production. To be successful, right, we need expertise. So your CFA certification gives you the expertise to be in banking finance. Your showmanship is the way you speak, your public speaking skills, which I developed over the last 20 years. Now, very key is production. So what is production? Producing this show, me speaking to you, looking at you right in the camera, and my setup. So this is also your online presence. Your online presence depends on your equipment. Do you have lightings? Do you have a microphone? And maybe I can show you a little bit of, let me use another, let me unshare this first, stop sharing. Okay, can you let me see whether I can start a video? Hey, hello. Can you spotlight the my iPhone? Yep. Okay. Now, are you seeing my iPhone camera? So I'm going to show you what I have down here. I have a camera. I have my microphone. I have a light. I have another light. I have my iPad so I can see you. And I've got like 2 screens, and then, you know, I've got another deck. And also I do up my light here so you can see. All right. So that is to give you a glimpse of how you do this setup. Because these days, after the pandemic, a lot of interviews, a lot of presentation are done via Zoom. And you notice now, I just want to show you, right? I've got I'm going to show you this. Just now, if you remember, I have the McDonald's value meal popping up down here. So imagine I'm having an interview with the interviewer, and the interviewer asks me, hey, Eric, can you describe who you are? So, Mr. Interviewer, I'm a combo specialist. What do I mean by combo specialist, Mr. Interviewer? If you look at the McDonald's combo meal down here, then I explain, oh, burger is my core specialization, fries is my secondary specialization. The interviewer will be very impressed. The interviewer is going to remember you, and the interviewer is going to ask you, how did you do that? Yeah, if you hire me, I'll tell you. Okay, let me continue. So that is production. It is part of your online presence. So online presence is not just your social media. It is how do you present yourself when you are online. And look at the lights behind down here, you can see far. So when I do this setup, I got first layer is my face, second layer is my bookcase, and then the third layer is the lights behind. So if you give people something to see, right? So I got all my LinkedIn award. So the interviewer will ask, hey, what is that? Oh, that, Mr. Interviewer, let me get it for you. Mr. Interviewer, I happen to write on LinkedIn and I got 2 million followers. So LinkedIn give me this award. Boom. You now are the candidate that will stand out. And even they don't give you a job right now, I'm sure they will want to keep you in mind for the next role, right? So we need to have hard skills, which is our CFA skills. We also need to have the skills to attract people to us. And the interviewer may hire you just because he wants to learn about your Zoom skills. I want to continue my presentation. Let me share my screen again. Number 8 is to review your failures. A lot of times, hey, we want to show our success, right? But sometimes reviewing your failures make you more authentic, make you different from other candidates. And also in banking finance, trust is very important. Because without trust, how can we do business? I'll share with you one of my faith story. I was, after I graduated from engineering, I wanted to travel, but I didn't have the money. So this is the airline, is Singapore Airline. So I went to the hotel for interview. It's a walk-in interview. They check my height, check my face. Okay, I'm tall enough to reach the cabin. So I was interviewing for a cabin crew job. So if I get the job, I get paid and I can travel. And they asked me to read a passage to test my English. Then I didn't know one word. So I asked my friend, hey, how do you pronounce this word? Because my friend was going to this Singapore Airline interview with me. Or he said, expedite. At that time, I didn't even know how to pronounce expedite. And let me stop sharing my screen so I can join you in the big room. I read the passage. So he said, okay, you passed 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, please come to the training center. So 2 weeks later, I went to the training center. So there were about 100 people. So they divide us into groups of 10 and we play games. We play some board games. If you are too domineering, you fail. If you are too quiet, you fail. Then they'll call out 2 names. So the group that I was in, they say, Peter and Erickson, stay. The rest of you, you may leave now, immediately. So each group, 2 persons stay. Then at the end of the 10 groups, 20 people stay. And he said, okay, now you go for swimming test. Because to be a cabin crew during emergency landing, you need to know how to swim so that you can maybe help save the passenger. So I went swim 50 meters and I passed. And the interviewer said, okay, done. You all passed everything. Relax. So we changed, dried up, and I was drinking tea with the interviewer, the group of us. So this tall gentleman, the head of HR, asked the group of us in front. And he said, Do you think food is more important or service is more important? I put up my hand. Without missing a beat, I say, food more important, sir. You may leave now. Because I gave the wrong answer. So I left. Basically, I failed the interview and I joined DBS Bank. So to reveal some of your failure sometimes make you more relatable. Because in life, right, we have more failures than success. And then you can also help other people by revealing failures. You help other people to reveal theirs. Then we have a closer relationship. And also when you want to hire people, you want to hire people that you can trust. So it is quite important to do that. I'm going to share my screen again, but there is something that I want to tell you. Share your scar, not your wound. Scar is something that you have already recovered, because that happened 20 years ago. So it's okay. Wound is something that is still hurting you. Some people share their wound because it gets a lot of likes on social media. But you can get hurt even more because sometimes people can use it against you. I mean, when you are still suffering. So we have to be careful when we share failures. With that, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And I am open for question. Thank you, David, for having me. I think I should stop now here. Yes, PPP is for clapping. So if you
PPP,
enjoy the presentation,
just type PPP. I'm typing mine now. This is excellent stuff. So PPP, let's just clap, as in clap, clap, clap. PPP, everybody. Yes. This is. I can do PPP as many as I've done like 3 times already, because I mean.
So if while you are thinking of David, thank you. While the participants are thinking of the question, I like to share 5 free chapters of my book, which is available on Amazon with the participant. It has some of the things that I have mentioned.
Excellent.
And yeah, it's free. The first 5 chapters is free. So go ahead and use it.
If you can share how we get that would be great.
Yeah, so that is the Amazon link. So the book is called Small Action Leading Your Career to Big Success. And I said just now, I'm here not just to share, I'm also here to learn, but also I want to share a few of my connection with you. I got 3 persons that I want to share. One is Annie Filipova, 20 years with Citibank, now a career coach and a speaker. Feel free to connect with her. She's now based in Athens, and she's familiar with Europe and Asia. The second person I'd like to share is Raymond Louis, doing private equity, private capital, based in Singapore with a boutique PE firm. So it's just to give you a network outside, maybe in Asia, some place far away, to just expand your network. And the third person is Anil from India, CFA India, Vice Chairman of CFA Society India. Again, we have a common thing, which is CFA. Raymond is also a charter holder, and I'm going to copy their LinkedIn profile for you. I'll just put it down here. Okay, I just put the 3 person so you can connect with them and expand your network. I'm going to copy the Amazon 5 free chapters on Kindle. You can read about it. And I'm really, really happy be here. I got one final resource to share. It's a CFA article written about my portfolio career and was very well received. Yeah, so this is the article written about my journey. So if you want to have a recollection of how I navigate my journey and my stories, some of it is written in this article. Yeah, you can take a look. Yeah. So I have 5 free chapters, 3% to connect plus CFA article. So feel free to reach out to them. One person say I missed the surname, Benga. So I've already put down the link for you, so you can see them.
So everybody could check the chat. You just scroll through the chat, you'll see all the links.
Yeah, I will put the link again, maybe halfway through. Yeah. So David,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, this has been a jam-packed session. I'm sure everybody, there's a YouTube link there. We're going to share it again so you could go watch it. You need to watch it again and listen attentively and write notes. But more importantly, I think buy the book. I'm definitely ordering that book immediately and get that book. So thanks a lot, Eric. I mean, your methodology is excellent. I mean, I have written down quite a lot of notes. You have 8 steps. So you had 8 steps to reveal your failures at the end. And of course, the very first step being that you should be a combo specialist. So combo specialist and be the same. I think that's a really unique thing. So yeah, combo specialist is all you've done, different things. I mean, we go to school, our parents kind of push us to do something, right? Our parents, many of us, our parents are the ones that kind of determine our university degree. We do it to please our parents. And then after that, we go and do all the interesting things we want to do. So my first question for you is, was that the same for you? Or probably did they encourage you? How did you determine what you were going to read in school and stuff? What influenced you?
Yeah. My parents are illiterate, so they cannot read.
Yes.
They were thinking I should take over the street food stall. So that was the expectation for me. I think I didn't meet their expectation. I didn't take over because it's too much of a hard work. I have to wake up like 5:30 in the morning. That is hard-earned money, is by blood and sweat, literally blood and sweat, because sometimes you cut your hand, and it's very hot. So fortunately, my parents didn't say you must be a doctor, engineer, nothing. So they let me be. So although I failed many times, they didn't pressurize me. They say that if you continue failing, just go and sell noodle. So I think not having that pressure allows me to have the time to progress at my own pace. I think this is also very important if we have people that we supervise or children or kids. Give people their time and space. Most people, they can achieve big things, but they may be using a longer time. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And your ESP methodology, could you tell us the backstory of that? Just the backstory of how you realized that is a key thing: enterprise, showmanship, and production. When did that come about?
Yeah, you see, I was a speaker. So many people are speaker. So when the pandemic hits, right, no more big hotel, the annual conference of CFA, big events, no more. It's all webinar, right? Like this, it's webinar and people are so used to it. So now there is no big hotel to attract participants. They need the speaker to attract participants. Previously, if there's a big event, they don't care who the speakers are. You can crack a few jokes, you are invited, they pay you a little bit and then you give your talk. But now, not only must the speaker speak well, they must speak well on Zoom. They must have a reputation on social media so that people want to attend. Like today, all of you come. There is no free lunch. You still come and you got no idea the content. of course, number one, CFA did great job in marketing. I need to do my job to make sure that I prepare my equipment and I can deliver an engaging speech with good content. So that's where the ESP come in. I say that, how can I be better than other speakers? Because a lot of speakers, if they are professional speakers for 10, 20 years, they can't switch, because without the engagement from the participant, they cannot engage themselves. They cannot be engaging. Like for you, I can see a lot of chat, which is good, but I cannot see your reaction. I don't see your video and I cannot hear you. So I need to assume that you are laughing.
So that's great. And I want you both to laugh, everybody, as well as ask questions. So if you ask questions on the chat, I know I'm looking to see if there are any direct questions.
Yeah, I think there are already quite a few questions on the chat. There is one question by Baba Lola. How do you overcome shock from initial rejection on your journey to social life?
Next question.
I got rejected so many times that I'm already immune to rejection. So everything I do, I already assume I'm rejected. So it's okay, it's part of my life. So I just keep going and trying. And one thing I do is I try to do a small thing. So instead of doing the big task, I will say, okay, on LinkedIn, I don't think, okay, I want to write for millions of people, initially. I just say I write one article. Even if 10 people read it, I'm happy. So I set myself very low standard. But what I do is I keep taking action. Yeah. And rejection is the way we learn. And you get rejected more, you get immune more, and then you become more thick-skinned. I think not trying is worse. Sometimes I regret for not taking action. Yeah.
So one key thing I've learned as well is you fail fast. You need to fail fast. So fail fast, and fail often, and then you succeed. If you don't fail fast and often, you won't succeed. Let me do something. Lekon put his hand up. So I'm going to ask you to unmute Lekon Abudu. You can unmute and I'll allow you to share your video and you can ask your question live. So Lekon, share your video if you want to. Share.
Okay.
And then ask.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Tell us where you're from and everything, and then ask a question. Okay. Yeah. Great. We can see you.
Thank you so much for this great lecture. My name is Leko. I'm from Nigeria. Yeah. Leko from Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. So my question also, being a lecturer, I know it's an enormous task. So I want to ask, how do you juggle the two together and still be effective?
So how do you juggle my question? Lecturing and what? What are you juggling?
And your banking work. No, he is a banker. And so how do you juggle the two? There are two enormous tasks.
Thank you. How do you juggle lecturing and banking?
So can I understand if the question is, how do I juggle banking and teaching at the same time?
Okay, question.
Is that the question?
I believe so.
Okay.
He's a lecturer. How do you juggle those two?
Yeah. So number one is, how do we have more time? I try to cut down choices in my life. I wear only white shirt and always some blue suit. So everywhere I go, I just wear this. So I save time thinking. So in the morning, I don't think what to wear. In my presentation, I don't, okay, today I'm speaking to Nigeria. Should I wear purple or pink? No. Whoever I talk to is always like this. I stay in the same hotel chain. I buy the same car all the time. And that frees me up. That's one. Number two is, when I teach in the evening, or I try to teach on the weekends. So it doesn't clash with my banking work. And the next thing I did was I tried to have a good relationship with my boss, and I let my boss know that me teaching helps the bank because I can get interns and analysts. I can get the best intern and best analysts. And the HR like it, my boss like it, and sometimes when there's a bit of conflict between my schedule, they are quite understanding. I hope that answer your question.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
There is
Thanks
also a question here I see in the chat from JC. Thank you for asking, Laken. Thank you for asking. JC say, dear Eric, how about the earlier first person you have mentioned in Shanghai? Is it John Patrick Mullen? Yeah. You can let me see whether I can search for him on LinkedIn. Then I will copy his. Yeah, I got it. I will now give you JC. Coming onto the chat is John Patrick Mullen's LinkedIn. All right, you got it now. That's
Great.
good. So that is answered. And
Have
George
another question?
Otim.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, is that I have a question relating to being consistent. So this is George Otim. I have a question relating to being consistent on all platforms. Don't you have situation where you want to post something private on one platform and not the others? For me, I don't post anything private. Everything is assumed to be public. If it's very private, I send a WhatsApp message to my friend. This is how you want to build a brand. So you can use this method for 3 months, and then you can see how it works. And of course, once in a while, I may post something very personal on my Facebook, but not on LinkedIn. But in general, my post is public, and I treat them all the same.
Excellent. So I have another question from Anthony. He's asking, I moved from IT to global treasury. How can I reflect this in my social media and not be seen as the IT guy?
Yes. So you can talk about treasury. Maybe you now have a view, right, on treasury products. Can we take something from the newspaper and apply your treasury knowledge and talk about it? Could be foreign exchange, could be cash management, could be interest rate. Then you are the IT person who understands interest rate hike. You can read and you just do a 2-3 lines, or you can comment. You use the hashtag treasury, interest rate, or Fed, and then you get all these posts. And when you comment, you write a small comment to showcase your knowledge of treasury. Then slowly you will not be boxed into an IT guy. There is one question here from Esther. How do one develop Esther Ogandana? How does one develop his or her communication skill strength on social media to build online presence? For online presence, of course, writing. So I think write stories, stories with universal application that will help you. And when you speak, also tell a story. So I think if you just focus on telling story, you will build your online presence. And also when you tell a story, you don't need to remember the facts because you already know the story in your head. Thank you for asking. All right, David, any last question? I think it's already time.
Yeah, I know we're going to have the last question soon. So we'll determine who the last question is, but I would just like to recap the session. So again, we've heard from Eric Sim. I mean, it's such a wonderful thing that a weak tie from Idiring brought Eric Sim to Nigeria. And here he is talking to more than 300 people in Nigeria, and I think we want to adopt him. I don't know who else thinks we should adopt Eric. Please, if you think so, just do a PPP clap. Just type PPP as a clap that we should adopt Eric. I think we should. All right. And so then we have, yes, I think a lot of people are agreeing with me. PPP, let's adopt Eric. So thanks so much, Eric, for all the, I'm looking at combo specialist. I'm looking at use your external brand to enhance your internal reputation. I think that's the deepest for me out of everything, and as well as what telling a story. So using that external brand to enhance your internal reputation. So my question is, once someone's internal, let's say internal reputation has really been tarnished, right? Can you tell us, that's a big situation, and how do you fix that? What do you think are the steps?
Whose reputation has been tarnished?
Let's say someone's reputation, whether for good or bad, whether based on not necessarily their fault, has been tarnished. What do you do? How do you use social to try and fix that?
Two things. Number one, it takes time. Good reputation takes time to build. Bad reputation comes very quickly, but takes time to reverse. So give yourself time, number one. Number two, people are more concerned about themselves than about you. So sometimes this bad reputation being tarnished, sometimes it's in our mind. People already move on in their life after 3-4 months. So if you give it time, you can. And if you are not the person that they say you are, I think eventually the truth will still come. And the thing that I do is, before your reputation get tarnished, build social capital, build goodwill, so that when something bad happens, the other people can support you. So don't wait until something bad happens and then you start building relationship. Build social capital now. Help people. Be generous. Buy lunch, buy coffee.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. So we just keep building that social capital. I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Eric, but I'd like to invite our Vice President, Chuka. Chuka will come in and give his vote of thanks and closing remarks. I'd like to say a big thank you. I'll be following you directly on LinkedIn, and I want to build more solid ties. I've built a weak link right now. I want it to become solid. Chuka, over to you.
Sure. Yeah, sure. David, thank you so much, and Eric, thank you as well. This is a very, very insightful session. So, in addition to some of the things David actually highlighted, I like the fact that you showcase very practical tips. You talked about your production. You also talked about you also shared LinkedIn connections with people. So that's very good. And beyond the points that you've listed out, one thing I saw with you is that you are a determined person, and that is something I also learned. Do not let your weaknesses stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. Yeah, so that's very critical. So Eric, thank you so much. I know it's evening your time. David Brown, thank you as well for actually moderating this session. Odiri, as well as the Employers Relations team, I want to for a good job for this initiative, for bringing for inviting Eric, and I'm also speaking on behalf of the board of the Society Nigeria. I also want to express their gratitude to everyone, the participants. I think we have over 300 people across different continents. So I want to thank you for participating. And just a reminder, and for me personally, I need to build my social media presence. I'm not that active on LinkedIn. I check it once a while, but I guess I am inspired by this session. And I'm also going to buy the book, and I would also encourage others to buy the book. So thanks everyone. It's been a nice session, and have a blessed day.
Thank you, Chuka, David, Gloria.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
And all the participants who spend your time with us.
Yes.
See you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we'll send you all the questions and everything on the chat so you can have a look.
Yes.
And hopefully you'll come to Nigeria in live. We'll see you live soon. Right.
I want to come, definitely.
So Yusuf, we couldn't get to your question, but we'll probably send that to Eric to see if he can answer that directly for you.
Sure.
Right. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Bye.
See you. Take care.
If you've made a decision to aim for a long-term and successful finance career, taking the Chartered Financial Analyst CFA exam and studying the curriculum is an excellent way to ensure you have a strong knowledge base and top-notch skills. Are you ready to take the bold step to invest in yourself? CFA Society Nigeria is at your disposal, promoting the highest standards of investment practice in Nigeria. As an affiliate of CFA Institute, CFA Society Nigeria seeks to promote the highest standards of investment practice in Nigeria and to provide a vibrant community in which its members and other key players in the investment industry can interact and grow. When you have the CFA Charter, you're globally recognized. Take advantage today by writing the CFA exam and joining us at CFA Society Nigeria. For more information, visit us at cfasocietynG.org. CFA Society Nigeria, making finance